What's up, everybody? Tell John the Don,
I'm Big Skoom,
and this is
Skoom Speech. Brought a couple of notes with me today. Hopefully you're doing good.
Yeah, can't complain.
Got a nice stogie over there? What are you smoking?
Yeah, this is the
Looks incredible.
Under Crown by Drew Estate.
Looks unbelievable difference.
It's actually a Maduro.
Alright. Looks like a dark stogie, man.
Yeah, I'm getting some pretty crazy flavor notes off of it. Can't complain.
So I was having this conversation with someone before in the past. So let's see. First, it's about so not judging people on their past, right? This is kind of what they were saying. And they were like, you never know what someone goes through or, what they've been through. You don't want to judge them because of it. I don't even really know what that means, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, but can you judge people based off their actions relative to their future? So what I mean by that is whatever their goals are, or if they have any goals, and whatever actions they're doing in the present, how it relates to any goals that they may have.
True.
Then can you start judging them? Like, let's say if it's not matching up, or if it's shows clearly that they have no goals for the future. The point I'm trying to make. Well, there's a couple points I'm trying to make. One, the point of never judge people ever. I don't think that's a great point.
Yeah, that's very big.
Well, a lot of people feel like that.
Yeah.
A lot of I think you probably feel like that too.
Yeah.
And you probably you'd be like, Zay, we're all just humans out here. We're all human, right? So who are we to judge people? Blah blah blah.
Right, right.
Or the other stance is you never know what someone goes through, so just cut them slack. You don't know what they're going through. Maybe they've had an abusive father or an abusive mother.
Yeah.
So maybe it's hard for them to get back on the right track of life. So don't judge them. And I'm like, maybe all that's true.
Right.
But what you should be judging is what they're doing for their future. Yep. You should definitely be judging that.
Yeah.
And I think, what do you think about that?
Well, I agree. I mean, upon the part of, if you had an abusive childhood, of course, my heart goes out because that's rough. But at the same time, if you're in your 30s or whatever and you're still struggling with addictions because of that, I think that's like you like to call them cop-outs. You're living on a crutch. You're living on a crutch. It's like, when are you going to grow up and start taking some accountability for yourself? Because you're no longer living with that person. Maybe these people are dead and gone or whatever, right? So it's like, I would understand if you're still living in that moment, how it could be hard to escape, but now you've moved out, got your apartment, got your car, maybe your own family. What are you going to break the cycle or continue it? It's like the drunk dad, sober dad,
Okay.
Or the drunk dad that affects the sober brother, drunk brother.
Yeah.
I know you heard that book. At least I don't know if it's necessarily a book, but
The Expression?
The Expression, sure. I definitely know there's a story that goes with it,
I mean, yeah, that's a good point too. And it's just, I don't know exactly how you're saying it. I just feel like no matter what, that's going to be a cop out no matter what.
Yeah, you definitely can't base tomorrow off of today or right now off of yesterday even.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure. You get into a car accident, you're bandaged up for a little while, whatever. You could throw any simulacrum you want to in here, but it's eventually you're going to heal from it. I mean, I jumped out of a car 4 years ago, and you would never know now. I don't.
Why don't you tell that story? I haven't heard it in a while.
Yeah,
if you want to tell it.
This is a funny story. So, I was going to the airport. I didn't have a ride. Not many family around or whatever. Not a whole lot of money to get a cab or whatever. Uber, whatever. So I was like, whatever. I'm a grown man. I'm strong. Whatever. I'll walk. I'm walking in penny loafers, guys. I don't know if anybody knows what those are, but basically they're a really high-dollar dress shoe. They're to go to church in, not to walk 10 miles in. So I go to the airport. It's 6 in the morning. Find out that I already missed my flight, and now I got to walk back to my hotel. So there's a big lesson in here too. It's all about the selfishness and being tempted by the devil. I like to say because I'm super spiritual, and I think that's what it was. Because a person pulled up, hey, you're walking funny. You look like you've been walking long or whatever. Where are you going? So I tell him where I'm going. But
describe this person.
This person was probably 250 pounds, probably 5 foot flat. It's a black woman with dreads, and looking like she's up to she's just up to no good. So she meets me at the next stoplight, right?
So wait. So you're walking home. You're walking to the airport.
No, from the airport.
You're walking from the airport
to the hotel.
A bigger black woman stops by, and what did she say to you? She's like,
she was like, "Hey, you need a ride." First thing she said, she catch my attention.
And you were like, "What? No."
Yeah, I was like, "No, I'm good." I was like, "I only got like 2 more blocks to go."
And then you go. Then so what? You were at this.
So that was at one stoplight, and then I make it like another stoplight up. It's like another block, and then she got the green, goes up, catches a red. I'm like, "Oh, great!" She's here again. She got a window rolled down. Come on, I know. Those are nice shoes. I know that I'm feeling so good.
She said that?
Yeah, like you could tell, like I'm walking funny, yo. Like in penny loafers, like my ankles are hurting, all this. So I let me just give you a ride. You just said it's right there. I'll give you a ride right there, whatever. So I cave. I'm like, all right, whatever, right? So I put my luggage bags in her back seat, and we start going. I'm describing where to go, right, left, right, whatever, right, and. Yeah, so we get to the hotel that I was staying at. I already had a room and everything. It was paid again for that week. I could have stayed for another week just fine, but I had a flight to catch. You know what I'm saying? I had to get home. So we get to the parking lot, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it's right here. And then she punches the gas pedal. So I was like, oh, man, by this point, automatically I know.
So what do you think? What do you think? So you pull up. You're about to thank her for the ride, and she just punches on the gas pedal.
Punches the gas pedal, we dip, and I don't hesitate. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? And she shoots her hand into my pocket, talking about narcos and other stuff too. She's like looking for something specific. I'm like, what, woman? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have money. None of this, none of that. So I grab the door handle and jump out of the car. Boom. I think I kept like one luggage bag, but another luggage bag got taken with a whole bunch of nice clothes, shoes, whatever. I lost it all.
So you jumped out of the moving car?
Jumped out, dude. We're probably doing like 50 to 60, somewhere between there. Like we were ripping. I broke my arm, messed my wrist up. I had a road rash all down my body. But
so she was trying to rob you?
She was trying to rob me. Yeah, she thought I had something nice for her, but I didn't have anything nice, man. I'm a simple guy. I had rosary beads and a couple other things.
Oh, man, dude. When I first heard that story, I didn't even think it was a true story. Oh, man, that cracks me up.
Definitely a true story.
So that reminds me, do you remember you picked me up from the airport?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
This was a crazy story.
So Tyler picks me up from the airport. I must have been coming from Florida or something.
Yep.
And we are driving. And then, I don't know if we were at like a red light or something, but some guy asked us for a ride or something.
No, we were at the gas station.
We're at the gas station, yeah.
And it was raining outside.
And I think he first asked for some cigarettes or something, or something, or no?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I was sitting in the car.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I think when I was inside, because I think this is when we were smoking marijuana at the time, so yeah. I think we bought some backwoods or something, and then he brought something up about it. And then at some point he's like, can I get a ride? And I don't remember, but basically, like, me and you are looking at each other, and I'm like, hey, bro, like, we're like, you can hop in the trunk. Yeah. Tyler has a truck. So, like, you can hop in the bed. You can hop in the bed of the truck. We don't know you, man. And I think you basically said that. You're like, we don't know you. You can just hop in the bed.
Yeah. We'll give you a ride, but you got to ride in the bed of the truck. I'll crack the window.
Yeah, yep. So, basically, long story short, we get to where he wants us to drop us off at, and it's like this really sketchy-looking building. And he's like, oh, like, just go out back. Like, go around the alley or whatever. Right? Yeah, he's like, keep going around back.
You named some burger joint or something. You were like, I know this area. There ain't no burger shop.
Yeah, it was something crazy. And he's like, yeah, like, just keep going around back or something. And I do you remember what happened? We're just like, nah, dude, like we don't know you,
I
man.
was like, yo, get out the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got real serious on him. And
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
like, yo,
crazy.
I leaned back and everything, and I looked at him. I was like, get out the car. We're not going anywhere else.
What do you think that was gonna like?
I don't know.
Do you think he was
I
trying to
still
set
think
us
about
up or what?
I don't know. I still think about that sometimes, but I have no idea what his idea was. You know what his intention?
I don't know.
It's always hard to know someone's intention.
That's what I was thinking of on my ride here, and I was saying that because I thought about that a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a crazy story.
Yeah, I
you
don't
never
know.
know someone's intention.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking.
You'll get yourself involved in some mess just by accident.
And
Just
he
trying to
didn't-
help somebody else.
And he didn't look super homeless or anything either.
No.
I don't know. Super
Probably just a
interesting.
young bull,
Yeah.
you know. Probably trying to set us up. To be honest, I don't know. It was a sketchy neighborhood.
So it's election day. It was the Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday the 5th
The
of
5th.
November.
Apparently it's election day. I didn't vote. Apparently Tyler did vote though.
Yeah, my first time ever.
First time ever voting.
Yeah.
Okay. I see you got the red tie on. So
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Dressed up like Trump.
Dressed up like Trump?
Yeah.
You know,
Going for the Republican Party this one.
he went for the Republican Party. Like, you know, just one thing I always think of, and I brought it up to Tyler, just like, I don't know, there's a lot of men out in the world, and I don't know, I could never really imagine, like, a man, like, very badly, like, just blindly wanting to be led by a leader, or getting led by a woman as their leader. Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know, like, maybe you'd have to know a lot about politics, a lot about Kamala Harris, to want to vote for her. But, you know, someone who doesn't know, like, that's kind of where I think, I'm like, like, I don't know, to, like, blindly volunteer to vote for a woman to lead me.
Yeah.
I don't know, unless I really knew what she was planning. Like, I don't know, it just wouldn't really make sense for me to swing that way.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. That's definitely why I lean towards the Republican Party just because of that. But I'm not saying that I don't think Biden did much good anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty interesting too. Just like, yeah, how like, yeah, they were all pro Biden, and then just switch so quickly. Like, I don't know, man. Politics is, I don't know. They say like, what, you never talk about politics, religion, and like whatever, and sex, right? Like those are the three topics you're like never really supposed to bring up to people.
Sure, but you and I break all those rules of every conversation.
I don't know. I guess so.
It's freedom of speech still.
I don't know. Is there freedom of speech? It's like what Jordan Peterson was saying about like having to call people by their pronouns or whatever.
As far as the pronouns, I would just start calling you by your name. Hey, Betty, get over here. I don't care what you are.
That's a good one. I never thought about that.
Call them by name.
Yeah.
You know, because that's one way to get around it. Because yeah, dude, that stuff it's so far out that it's crazy. Everybody's always trying to pave the new way of something. It's like, guys, really?
That's a good point.
How many times can you reinvent the wheel before it starts to have all kinds of weird sides and stuff like that? Now we just have a sphere driving on the road. Like, no way. Come on, man. There's nothing new under the sun, though, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know. That stuff is crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. It must be super difficult. Like, I don't know. I could never really imagine, like, I don't know, like, the one argument I hear is like, and I brought it up to you, but it's like, yeah, if I like came to you and was like, oh man, I just want to like chop my hand off really badly, you know, like, oh, say, why do you want to do that? It's like, oh, I just want to. I just really don't like my hand.
Sure.
You'd probably be like, oh, well, you know, it doesn't really sound like a good idea. It's like that's kind of the hard argument I hear with the whole transgender thing, like just wanting to chop your thing off really for no real reason, more or less.
Yeah.
Like, probably might not be a good idea.
Not at all, because I look at it like this, too. It's like, well, if you're having a hard time with acceptance or whatever it might be, you know, you might feel like an outcast or something. Well, if you think you're an outcast now, then trying to go through a change like that, and I'm sure you could talk to people that have done it in the past, they're even more ostracized now, and then they've only made it click that they could show with even smaller.
Yeah, I mean...
And you know, I think you and I had this discussion one time, too, of like, well, the things that they bond over are superficial, really.
I think I know what you mean here.
Only one topic.
Yep, I do know what you mean here. And I feel this is very true. And Tyler's being really diplomatic over here, real political. But basically what Tyler's saying, and I feel it's pretty standard across the board, is like, and yeah, we're not trying to be huge controversial here, but yeah, like someone who's potentially like homosexual or whatever the other ones are, whatever, um, as opposed to someone who's heterosexual. Like for example, Tyler's a heterosexual male. Like he's into the opposite gender. One thing he doesn't do though is talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you never.
There's
really
no, there's no, well, and that's how typically a lot of heterosexual people are.
Yeah.
Like they don't really talk about the sex that they have or the stuff that they do with the opposite sex.
No.
But it seems very much so with like, for example, like homosexuality and things like. It's something very much that they talk about.
Yeah, that's how they just identify, and they
that's a great point.
know they identify that way.
That's a great point.
So well, I remember, and I'm sure you remember this too. We're the same age, but like back in like 2010 and stuff like that, the phrase "in the closet" was like that separated everybody in droves, right?
Okay.
So, but if you were in the closet, right? And someone at a party knew that, hey, so-and-so over there is in the closet, but he swings that way. All right, cool. I respect homie. But just tell him keep his space. We'll be good, right? I still feel that way, personally. Don't come on to me with some BS that I'm not involved with. But, now I just feel like it's them just pushing an agenda. It's like, yeah, I do swing that way. Why? You got a problem with it? Are you trying to make a problem with it? Because I'm not saying I will catch an assault charge, but I'm going to...
It's a great.
I have a will to stand up for myself as well.
It's a great point. I feel it's a great point that you brought that up because, I heard this argument on the internet as well. Like kind of exactly what you're saying. Oh, you got a phone call. Kind of like exactly what you're saying. Like, generally speaking, it seems that like that's probably how most people feel about. Whatever you want to call it, homosexuality and all the other stuff is like reality. Yeah, it doesn't bother me, or it has nothing to do with me, so it really doesn't. I don't really care that much.
Yeah, sure. Well, not that you really have to. Really, just respect that human for being a human, and if I'm not able to push my ideologies on someone else, as far as faith, politics, or whatever else, then what gives them the right to try to push their beliefs or what happens in their bedroom on me?
Well, that's kind of where I was going.
Okay, yeah.
Because most people probably, it doesn't bother, it doesn't affect me. I don't really care too much. So like, these people kind of notice that, and I think, because of that, because it kind of more or less is accepted in that way, surface level, generally, very, very indifferently, as in, whatever. I feel like, so they do kind of just push that limit a little bit more, because surface level, most people are just like, whatever, who cares?
But they know there's a lot of laws that back them up, too.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, well, if I push enough of your buttons and get on your nerves enough, and then you do harm me, physically or whatever, or even if, fudge the physical, if you harm me mentally enough, then I could still press a charge on you. You're being verbally abusive or assaulting me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just have a hard time with that because, I could pull the same card on them, but I'm not a chump,
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's a double-edged sword that's usually set against you, and that's what's messed up because that's what the world stage is set on right now. It's like just attacking straight men and women too. Women aren't necessarily being taken out of their wrath. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's messed up, man. It's really messed up. But the world stage has it all messed up right now. Everyone's all on OnlyFans and stuff like that, and you've seen a squirrel meme going on right now. I don't know if you've seen it.
Nah, I don't know what that is.
But the whole squirrel meme is going on, and it's actually promoting OnlyFans even more so. There's a guy on there, and I don't know the whole story on it. I heard it on the internet as well, in the podcast I listened to. And, yeah, dude, it's just all messed up. But
There's a really funny thing from Theo Vaughn. Obviously, you know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about, like, in the future, I think it's Theo Vaughn. He's like, in the future, like, imagine, like, women are holding men up at gunpoint. Like,
to
thing
with them?
Well, no. Well, like a woman's like, you walk down the street and a woman like pulls out a gun. She's like, subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah.
Theo Vaughn is hilarious.
Okay,
man.
all right, but
Have you heard that?
No,
yeah, Theo Vaughn is hilarious.
I thought you were going on the route of, you seen your Tesla bots?
Nah.
All right, so these new Tesla bots, people are gonna start fornicating with them and stuff like that. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna funnel the drop off of humanity pretty much right into that kind of thing, because obviously you can't procreate.
Okay.
Right? Without procreation, we're doomed.
Okay.
Right. So that's interesting. So yeah, I thought you were going the route of women aren't being married or anything like that, or procreating with men.
Yeah.
So they were going to just start, reverse SAing people.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
But neither of those would happen. I mean,
probably not.
One, there's already insemination or whatever, where a woman doesn't even need a man to get pregnant. And then two, with technology, dude, in the future, yeah, I mean, whatever. You go as far as test tube babies. I was going to take it even easier, as in,
Okay.
but you actually can, whatever, procreate with a robot, and it won't be, I don't think it'd be half robot, half human, just they can find a way to have the female egg in the robot, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't think that'll be an issue, but it's interesting. One thing you brought up was
Okay.
kind of how some of those people maybe feel like they stood out a lot in their life. But I feel like, yeah, they maybe do jump over into that crowd to...
Just for that sense of acceptance?
Yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly.
It's so unfortunate that that's the drastic measure has to go, though. I mean, I think it's very base to say, but that is very drastic, right? I mean, that's very drastic.
It is,
altering.
But it is, but when you couple that...
If I and 5 other of your friends started cutting off our fingers to make some kind of crazy point, insert whatever point you want to make here, you would maybe subscribe to the idea?
Well, when you couple that with, I do identify myself as whatever these people are, it's really, I mean, I guess technically it's perversion. Apparently, perversion, being a pervert, I guess technically means, like, whatever, doing intimacy with no means of having children.
Oh, sure.
Anytime you're doing that, you're technically being a pervert.
I guess.
So,
I guess that makes sense, right?
Well, I guess technically, yeah. I forgot some philosopher said that, but so yeah, when you couple that with like basically, yeah, I identify as just someone who wants to have loads of whatever intimate sexual interactions. That's who I am as a person.
Yeah,
that seems to be how these people really see themselves as. It's really what they identify with is that, really, genuinely.
It's interesting, too, because then you get into BDSM, and the S in BDSM stands for sadism.
Well, sado...
Masochism.
Yeah.
So sadism is exactly that, right? I mean, it's getting your thrill, whatever your thrill or what some people consider to be a kink would be, is just from that. It's just sadism.
Well, sadism or whatever, it has to do with, I mean, well, no, that doesn't have to do with the sexual act itself. That has to do with, what am I thinking of the masochism part? I thought it was, sadism has to do with just inflicting pain, is where you can enjoy it.
Pain.
Or that could be the masochism part or whatever. But no, sadistic. Yeah, no, sadistic is just enjoying inflicting pain.
Oh, sadism is a shorter word of
sadistic. Yeah.
Okay.
Like he was like a sadistic murderer or whatever.
Yeah,
like he just inflicted pains because he just likes inflicting pain.
Like the Mendez brothers.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah. But that all came from, I don't know if you follow that case at all, but that all came from, their murders came from being essayed by their father for many years, and he was doing some.
I don't know. I'm thinking. I think I might be thinking of the nighttime stalker guy.
Oh, dude, that guy was
the guy with the bad teeth or whatever.
Yeah, that guy was awesome.
That's not the Mendez brother, right?
No,
he was like Ricky Ramirez.
Ramirez, yeah. Right. And he would carve the star on his victims and stuff like that.
He had a pretty interesting story.
He did. I thought.
Because I guess.
I wish they made a movie about him. I mean, they made a movie about the Ed Gein as Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
I wish they made a movie about Mendez.
Yeah.
Ramirez. What was his name?
Something Ramirez.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was Ricky Ramirez or what. Right. But, yeah, he's got an interesting story. I just say it's interesting, and, well, it's interesting in a couple of ways, but, because I guess apparently, like, he would just break into homes, like, before he would do anything. Like, when he was younger, he would just break into homes, and...
Yep.
And then I just thought it was interesting how, like...
It was interesting because at first he started, yeah, exactly, it evolved, because first it started out by just the fear of the idea of somebody being in your home, and then it turned to get very, very graphic later as he hit his 20s.
I know we're getting all dark here, but you know I think it was the BTK guy.
Oh yeah, Blind Torture Kill.
Yeah.
He's in California. Wasn't he?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of his name. I don't know if it was Dan. What was that guy's name?
Dan Schneider. No, sorry, Dan Schneider's somebody else. Sorry, Dan.
Dan Snyder. What's that? Someone from The Simpsons?
Yeah, I think so, but definitely not him. Definitely not BTK.
Can't think of that guy either. His name either, but yeah, those are pretty interesting stories.
Drop your comment below. I still want to know a lot of people's first horror movie that you watched, and what is your favorite one up till today? Mine's Jason Voorhees.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I used to freaking. There was a couple that really. Like, when I was a kid, I was a huge scaredy cat, dude. Huge scaredy cat. So I remember watching, like, one of the old Texas Chainsaw Massacres, dude, and being absolutely terrified, dude, and watching Chucky being terrified. And Scream, dude, had me really terrified, too. The Mask had me terrified, yeah. Like,
that's funny because that's my girl's favorite one.
Oh, really? Scream?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
My phone is blowing up today, guys. Sorry about that. Holy smokes. I've never got this many texts at this hour ever.
Yeah, it's right. I can edit it out.
Sorry, there's something too pressing.
So if you had a kid, or if you got kids, but
yeah.
Let's say, like, I don't know, your son wanted to, like, ride motorcycles. What would you say to that?
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah? You would encourage it?
We would, I would tell him you gotta save up your money for your own, because I have to save up money for my own, and then we'd get it together.
Okay.
I think the only stipulation would be you can only ride with me.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's just so dangerous, buddy, and it's better to have 4 rides on the road instead of just 2, and you're riding by yourself, you know, solo. But you gotta have people out there that watch out for you, you know, because a lot of these cars, they don't, you know. And now you got all these autonomous vehicles, man, where people fall asleep at the wheel, literally just put this thing on autopilot.
Yeah, right.
They be snoozing off. Next thing you know, you get run over and the car doesn't even stop. It's gonna keep going. It's like, yo, I didn't get his plate number.
Yeah, dude. I've had some close calls on my motorcycle.
Yeah. No, I would definitely encourage it. I'm not against bikes at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I love that idea.
I was, so, different topic, but I was hearing online talking about kind of like a hack to kind of be happy all the time.
Okay, but yeah, let's talk about this.
It's like,
this is a positive term.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Most people associate happy with like giddy, like childhood happy, like hi, giggle, giggle, you know, childhood happy.
Yeah.
So most people, that's like the degree. So like most people don't feel they're happy unless they're like in that euphoric type of type of high of happiness. Sure. So you know you can kind of hack the system by just bringing that parameter down a little bit and saying, hey, if I'm not, you know, definitely distraught with absolute sadness, where I'm just not even talking, I'm so upset.
Yeah.
So if I'm not that, and I'm anything above that, then I should consider myself happy.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, I should just consider it happy. Instead of like, oh, I gotta be over the top, giggly, you know, peeing my pants.
Yeah.
Just if I'm not, you know, absolutely distraught with sadness, then I'm just happy. I just need to qualify as happy.
You know, it's interesting.
Good way to hack the system.
Yeah, true. No, I do agree with that. But what's funny is that you bring this up is because I was thinking, I was at work the other day, and I work with 2 guys, and they both laugh all the time. And me, I'm very, I don't know, like, not reclusive necessarily, but I just look at everything around me, and then I kind of try to find similarities in myself of these moments going on.
Okay.
So I notice these guys laughing all the time, right? Like the last week, they've been laughing a lot.
Okay.
So I'm like, that's really interesting. You know, like, what exactly are they laughing about? You know, I don't find whatever they're laughing about funny, or whatever. I don't think it's like me going to a comedy show, but that's the way they're laughing. They're laughing loud and proud and just having a grand time, which I think is a good thing. I don't want people to not be happy and not laugh. But I thought about it to myself, and I was like, I can't really remember the last time I had a good laugh.
Okay.
That's interesting, isn't it?
That is interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting because what do they say, though, right? We remember the bad times more than the good times, right? For whatever reason that is. Like, you may not remember the last time you laughed really hard, but you could probably remember the last time you were mad or upset or pissed off. Yeah. Probably think of that like butter. True?
I'm trying to think now.
I was stressed out today.
Yeah.
Fred, good.
I don't know. I mean, as far as stress goes, you know, there's always bills and something coming up always something breaking and something letting you down. So, of course, don't focus on that too much because it'll just drive you crazy into a long list of depression and other stupid stuff. But last time I was frustrated, it's hard to say honestly. I'm sure I talked to you last time I was frustrated. Probably.
Can't think of any. I can't think of a time super recently.
Right? Me either.
But that almost sounds.
Oh, you know what's crazy?
What?
I was frustrated with this one. I got pulled over in Manchester like
Oh, you
3 days
did?
ago.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Dude. So my sister's car caught on fire.
Really?
So I banged.
Really?
Yeah. So I was pushing this yellow light, and
You were driving?
yeah, I was driving. I
Oh,
was pushing
my
this
gosh.
yellow light. I knew it was a yellow light too. So then it was a red behind it. So I was like, all right, whatever. It's yellow, and I'll stop at the next one, of course. So I didn't yield, but this cop jumped right behind me. And then as soon as this light turned green, I pressed the gas just a little bit. This dude's lights turned on. I told my girl, I'm like, yo, we're about to get pulled over.
Damn.
Like, just sit down and chill out. We're about to, we'll be out of here in no time. I just got to tell him this girl's car's on fire. I got to get to my niece and nephews, make sure the whole scene is good.
Damn.
So this guy stops me and everything like that. He's like, hey, you know why I stopped you? No. Do you know why I'm in a hurry?
Yeah.
So I tell him my situation. This guy has zero empathy. In my opinion, an officer doing a terrible job because if you tell him, I have a family member that's in distress right now that has already called the emergency contact number, and you could probably find it.
Wait, because the car was on fire?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I told him what was going on, and I said, you could probably listen to your radio right now and find out exactly if I'm telling the truth or not.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was telling the truth. Yeah, of course. Because, dude, I'm doing his job better than he is, and I'm not even a man in blue. So I was like, whatever. Yeah, I know I pushed the yellow light. It was a yellow light. He tried to get me for running a red. I said, I did not run a red. I said, the next light was red already. You were sitting still, and that light was yellow, so I went through a yellow light. I said, is that a crime? He said, no. Let me off with a warning, of course, because he knew he was in the wrong. That was the most recent time I was frustrated. But every time I get pulled over, I'm frustrated. I don't think anyone gets pulled over like, yeah, I'm having a great day. I'm glad I get to talk to this freaking donut-eating cop right now. So
they're just waiting for Dunkin' Donuts to open up. That's all.
Yeah, that's all. That dude was mad.
This is another good one you say. What was the good one you say too? Oh no, you say they're like following the Dunkin' Donuts tractor trailer, waiting for it to break down or something like that. Something you say like that.
Yeah, there was one time you and I were working together, and there was like a patrol car following a Dunkin' Donuts box truck. And I was like, yeah, you know what he's doing. He's following that dude right to the location.
I wonder where that even comes from. Like, I wonder if that just implies that, like, whatever, cops maybe just sit on their butts and, like, don't do much all day or something, but, oh, man, that's hilarious. Man.
Wait, yeah, that's funny.
That is funny.
I'm just always thinking of new ways to calm the cops, man. I don't really care too much. Not that I have anything against the boys in blue, man, but they just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Frustrating the heck out of me for no reason. Turning my hair's gray.
Aren't you trying to become a cop now?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I got some stuff to handle first and trying to find out, like, entry level or 4-year college to get my associates in law. I don't know. One or the above. It really depends on, in my opinion, how this election goes because of what one side's plans for the future are and then what the other side's plans for the future are. So, but yeah, I got a few tests to take, and I want to get it done before Christmas of this year. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Finally become a high school graduate.
So how the election goes, I mean, I think Kamala's going to be your new president.
If that's true, which I'm not putting all my ducks in one because that's just homicide, genocide, if you will. Why am I going to kill all my ducks if they lose? So if she does get in, then I'm just going to go to the next step and go to 4-year college and get an associate's. So then
Wasn't associate's 2 years? I think bachelor's 4 years.
4 years.
I think bachelor's was 4 years.
Bachelor's 4 years,
I'm
and then
sure,
associate's is 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Either way, I know that if I put that into good work, then I'll go into the force with a higher rank. So either way, it won't hinder but help you. So
there you go.
That's always a good thing to look at, And
I heard a good expression. What is it? It's like, I forgot what it was. I don't know if it was like living to die or living to live.
Dying to live, buddy.
Or dying to live.
Are you living to die or dying to live?
Yeah, it might have been that. Yeah,
it might be a question.
Living to die. Or
it's
dying
like, are you working hard or hardly working?
That's
I think it's a rhetorical question.
Dude, one time
I always tell my grandma I'm always hardly working.
Hardly working.
I'm always hardly working.
I remember one time, me and my cousin were on vacation. I think we were in New Jersey or something, and like we were both really young. And there's this UPS guy. This is
Jersey is the freaking armpit of New York, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Terrible place.
There was this UPS guy. And this is like when UPS guys used to like run everywhere. Like they would get out of the truck, run, drop it off, run
with the box on the shoulder.
Yeah,
dude. Imagine whenever them trying to do that with our 50-pound weight vests or 110-pound weight vests in the box.
I guess they don't do that no more. Me and my cousin said something. We were like, "Oh, like what are you working smarter? Are you working harder?"
No, yeah,
because he was walking. He wasn't running or nothing.
Super rhetorical.
Yeah. And I forgot what he said though, but it was pretty funny.
How do you feel about rhetorical questions? Low-key, I hate rhetorical questions.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I don't like them at all because, like, well, either way, you feel like a dumbass if you answer it.
I love personally. I love rhetorical questions, but of course, right? The only time you're really using a rhetorical question is to be whatever, not even arrogant, but like
pompous kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
I was trying
to think of the word. Not conceited, really either.
Yeah, dick.
What is the word? Oh, like facetious or whatever. Facetious? Yeah, okay. You're just trying to seem intelligent. Like that's the only reason why I use a rhetorical question.
I can agree with that to a degree.
But that's probably why I like them. I always love being like that person.
Yeah. I always look at it as it's like you already know the answer, so you ask it in a way that obviously you're gonna get the answer that you already knew.
Yeah.
So
I think
that's why I don't like them so much. Like if you already know, why ask? That's like saying you walk up like, okay, here's a good one. I'll bring it back to the cops real quick.
Yeah.
You get into a car accident and they walk up and ask you how your day's going. Yeah. It's going fantastic, buddy. This is exactly what I had in my plan when I left my house. On the way to the grocery store.
I guess it is all those. Those people are being arrogant, conceited, and it wasn't even facetious too. I'm trying to think of the word, but
I don't think they're being arrogant or conceited. I don't think they're asking to be a dick or a pompous a-hole because you could have been having a great day prior to that.
But to break it down even more, but who genuinely asks a rhetorical question?
Not many people.
Well, I just meant like, because this really seems to only be like two ways of the coin. Either one, I don't know the answer to the rhetorical question I'm asking, or I am asking a rhetorical question that I know the answer to.
Yeah.
So if I'm genuinely asking a question that I don't know the answer to, then wouldn't it not be rhetorical?
Yeah. Well, I guess that's the thin blade that you walk upon asking a question like that because. Well,
I think there's only one way to ask a rhetorical question. Because if not, it's just because other than that, it's just a genuine question. If I genuinely don't know the answer, then I'm really just asking a question.
I definitely agree with that because you could be asking somebody how their donut tastes. You already know.
Still thinking about cops?
Yeah, you already had the same one, so obviously you know how the donut tastes.
But it wasn't even facetious either. Is the word I was looking for, but I forgot. They were talking about it in a movie once, and they were talking about people who eat pears, and they're like, oh. And they use the word, and it's like, only people who eat pears are people who are trying to seem smarter than they really are. And I'm trying to think.
Why? Because pears are garbage?
I don't even know why. And I think they're talking about Steve Jobs or whatever. Like, Steve Jobs eating a pear or whatever. And they're like, he's just doing that to try to seem smart. I'm trying to think of that word, though. Maybe it'll come to me.
Yeah.
I think it was another comedian or something.
Probably.
I actually seen that, like, I forgot the word for it. It was like a psychopop, something like that. But kind of they were saying that like a jokester or like a comedian is kind of someone who like I don't really know how to explain it. Is someone who like long story short is like tapping into the subconscious mind. Huh. But obviously that kind of must be true.
Yeah.
And like the example they were using is like whatever, just like how. Like a comedian will like talk like do like race jokes, like racist jokes or whatever.
Sure.
And like it allows the people in the audience who maybe are of that race to kind of like step outside of the box that they're in that race and like view themselves.
Yeah. Be able to laugh at themselves.
It will like view themselves in like a whatever, like a subconscious, abstracted type of way. Like kind of when people like astral project in their dreams or whatever.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. It was pretty interesting, but they were just talking about how the jokester is like this like pseudo subconscious type.
Scientist.
It was like a psychopop or something like that. It was pretty interesting though, and the examples they used, I believed it. It was pretty interesting.
Sounds super interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting.
What was I going to say off of that? Oh, any chance that you get to break out of a box that family members or someone close to you may try to always trap you in, always try to break out of that box, man. It doesn't matter if you have to read an extra 2 books a day or whatever it might be. Like, no matter what, don't allow people to put you in boxes. Why do you think we don't like the fuzz so much? They always trying to put us in a box.
Well, being put into a box is, I wouldn't say by family or by people, but it's actually a super necessary, very necessary and important thing. There almost isn't anything more as important as that.
Because okay, so only if you agree on the box you placed in.
Well, I just meant more fundamentally, like,
oh, okay.
You would think of it like a game or whatever. Like, for example, chess has like a certain amount of rules and everything, and once you know those rules, then you can excel at the game.
Sure.
So it's the same with like the box or a box that you're put into, and like boundaries. Like once you have a box or boundaries or a confined space,
yep,
then you can work on
broadening that space.
Not even that, just excelling and performing really well in that space. Like if there's no container, then you spread yourself thin and you can't really get good at really anything.
That's true.
Because you're just like spreading infinitely out and out and out. But once there's borders, then now you can like really focus. Yeah, hone in and really get efficient and perform well. Because it's honed in, it's focused.
Yeah.
So being put in a box is super important.
Well,
you can't get good at anything without a box, or without a boundary, or without a line, or without a whatever.
Yeah. No, I guess I'm convinced.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Very true. Put me in the box on your TV.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Something on the telly.
We do it every time we make one of these podcast videos. We end up in the box on their cell phones. Or wherever they watch us at. Make sure you hit the like button no matter where you're watching at. Subscribe.
Nani?
Like and subscribe to the channel. Please and thank you. You guys help out a lot. Interact with us. Let us know. If there's any topics you guys want us to try to break down or divulge or anything like that, feel free. Drop a question, drop a comment, whatever. Put it in the little box below.
So you know what I found out recently?
What's that?
This won't surprise. I don't think this will surprise you because you're pretty. You're a pretty out the box type of person. You think quite outside the box.
I hate boxes, dude.
It turns out I'm actually not like that. Surprisingly, I don't think
you're more of a box type of guy.
Like, yeah, I think I'm actually someone who thinks inside the box.
No, man.
Yeah, I know. Because there's something.
Yeah, that's that Sherlock Holmes book.
I guess so,
dude. That book is.
There was a couple things that I brought. Oh, I don't remember, but there was a couple things that I brought up during the podcast where I asked you a question, and I was like, "Yeah, T, I couldn't figure it out until like 20 chapters later when they actually told me what it meant." And I said it to you, and you like said exactly what it meant.
Yeah.
And so
I remember the book too.
And and then I also brought this up that I'm about to bring up to someone else, and they got it right away, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, I totally get it." And I'm like, "Well, I still don't even get it."
Oh, it smokes.
So you'll probably get it too.
Yeah, what you got?
So apparently, there's this genre of like TV shows and movies and books where apparently it's called slice of life.
Okay.
And apparently, what that genre means is that there's no controversy.
Okay.
There is no, like, whatever, protagonist and antagonist, like bad guy, good guy, or
right.
There's no problems being solved or anything like that. And there's really kind of no ending. Like, there's just like an open-ending end. There's like an open-ended ending.
Sounds like a Hallmark Channel.
I mean, yeah, whatever. But what do it makes you think what does it make you think? Like, one, does that sound like an enjoyable type of whatever genre or TV show?
To me personally, no.
And then two, because like the thing they automatically said, and that's why I considered them outside the box when they said it, was they were like, "Oh well, yeah, it's just like that's kind of just how like a life is."
Because it's relatable.
Well, I don't know, because I don't even think because that really is a genre name is slice of life, and I don't even think I told them that yet. I was like, yeah, I watched this new TV show. Apparently, it's this genre where there's no controversy, there's no antagonist, protagonist. There's no. It's just an open-ended ending. Like there is no. Oh, great! We killed the big monster. Now we all go live happy ever after.
Yeah, right.
And they're like, oh yeah, sounds just like how life is. And I was like, what? I was like, how do you even come to that conclusion in like the 10 seconds I described this to you?
Yeah, right.
Because the name of the genre is slice of life, and apparently, I guess that is what it's supposed to represent.
Super relatable, I guess.
I don't even know. What do you think? Like, what do they? Let's try to dissect what they meant. Like,
okay,
what do they even mean by that when they say that? When they said that?
well, I guess because we're not out fighting some big mythical creature on a regular basis, so I mean, our lives are maybe.
Damn! Don't tell Jordan Peterson that.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't really even necessarily agree with that. I feel like your goals are too small if you're not trying to conquer something. We're only here for 100 years, and if you really look at science, maybe 85. So,
like my boy Zig Ziglar always says, we'll be dead longer than we're alive.
For sure.
But
yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't like TV like that or whatever. I like Chicago PD and like Law and Order Special Victims Unit because I don't know. To me, that's just
they have open endings sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Then it says to be continued, and I'm like, damn it, gotta wait a week.
Or not even that. I've seen some where they don't even show if the bad guy gets caught or not.
That's true too.
Well, I seen one where like basically alluded that the bad guy like got away and kept doing, you know, crime.
Mm-hmm.
But that was an interesting way to end the show. I've seen at least one like that.
Well, yeah, of course. Well, if the bad guy isn't caught, then of course it's going to continue, right? They're not going to be like, oh shoot, these guys are after me, so I'm gonna straighten up, change my ways, get a job at Walmart, and clock in my 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah, I mean,
right? Like, no way. If you're getting away with something, you're gonna keep getting away with it.
Well,
obviously.
I feel like I have some good insight on like.
I get away with smoking cigars, so I still smoke a lot of cigars.
I feel like I have some good insight on like, you know, whatever bad guys and people who commit like crimes and stuff like that. Because I don't know, I feel like a lot of people I don't know. I feel like a lot of people. I wouldn't say. Well, I'll just say it feels like a lot of people maybe struggle with like why the bad guy does what he does or something like that. You kind of get what I mean or no?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Like,
I don't think the question is. I don't know. I just
like, how would you break it down? Like, why do you think a bad guy does bad things? Yeah, I feel like I can break it down really simply.
It's one of two things.
Or very good.
They don't know or understand that what they're doing is bad. Or
it's not
excitement.
that.
It's got to be the excitement. Whenever you get away with, like, I know you and I aren't like this, but whenever you get away with cheating on somebody, and then continue to do it until you get caught.
So here, I'm gonna break it down.
A whole bunch of endorphins you're doing.
Well, you're right, but I'm gonna break it down how I think of it, and like I said, I feel like I have good insights. So I feel like I'm gonna be right. So I'm pretty sure bad people. Well, one obviously, right? They have this desire or whatever. So I feel like they just spend a majority of their life and time suppressing this desire.
Right.
And then I feel like it all has to do with the environment. When that opportunity presents itself.
Yep. They take the opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like, so they have this desire, whatever it may be, and then once the opportunity comes, they spend so much time suppressing it.
That they seize the moment.
And they seize the moment.
Wait, they're like, oh my god.
Yeah, they seize the moment.
Think about the endorphins that go through their mind in that moment and stuff like that too. It's like the excitement, the thrill, all these things.
Where that desire comes from is now a whole different other question. Well, actually,
I think that varies though.
Well,
it could vary upon the client.
Well, I was talking this with one of my friends, and he made a really good point. Because, like I said, apparently I'm not a really out-the-box thinker. And this guy apparently is pretty good at thinking outside the box. So he was kind of saying, basically, that... And I was figuring this all out. He didn't even know like what I was doing.
Yeah.
He was just talking.
Okay.
But I'm, like, seriously picking his brain here at this point. Because I'm into, like, you know, whatever you want to call it, like, darkness and all that. I find it very interesting.
Yeah, of course. Most people do. So
basically, he was saying that, like, long story short, these people are like desensitized or whatever. They're like they hopefully you know what I mean. They're like desensitized to it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, watching like gore on the internet and stuff like that.
Sure.
Watch it, 8 hours every day of the week, eventually, if you ever get the opportunity to recreate whatever you might once have seen, or take it to the next level of something that you think is creative, maybe you haven't personally seen, it's exciting, and that's what drives them.
Well,
I think well,
yeah, I mean, I guess you're
rebutting
right.
what I just said, I definitely agree with you to the desensitization.
Well, definitely that. Definitely that. It's like how we're desensitized to cigars and cigar smoke.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
Because
we can literally breathe it in. Like,
yeah,
we're desensitized to it.
many a day.
So that's exactly how, this thing is to them, whatever the bad thing is that they do.
Right.
And then obviously, since they're desensitized to it, then it can become a fantasy.
Sure.
Now I can like fantasize about it because it's not this. If cigar smoke was once a 10 and now it's like a 2.
Yep. It's not as esoteric as it once was.
Esoteric?
Yeah.
Doesn't that have to do with? Don't tell me. But doesn't that have to do with? Nah, I think I'm wrong. I'm thinking of like inside and out type of thing. Yeah. Interesting. It's really interesting to use that word.
I'm breaking the brain. Honey? So, what I meant when I said that word just now was esoteric being, it's something that's not really talked about.
Okay.
Not a large, conversation piece.
Okay. And how'd you use that in context?
It's not so esoteric anymore. Like, it's not hidden in the shadows.
Okay.
Because to them it's brought out because it's part of their daily life.
Okay.
They're desensitized to maybe,
It's not taboo anymore.
Right, taboo.
Okay.
That's the word I use esoteric as.
Yep.
Taboo.
So yeah, exactly. This thing, whatever it is, isn't bad or doesn't feel bad. It went from a 10 to now a lower number. Now I think about it more.
And then once you do that act, then now you're even more desensitized to it. So like Ramirez, you break into people's house enough to where you're now like, I'm actually pretty comfortable breaking into the house. Let's do something crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
do it.
Even still at that point, still a lot of it has to do with the environment. I mean,
Environment.
well,
Oh yeah, sure.
because most of these people are weak, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like
say
they're going out hunting and finding these opportunities.
no.
Generally speaking,
Some do. I mean,
not even still though. Like they still have to find a weak little lamb in the right environment.
oh sure, yeah, chance and opportunity.
Yeah, they still like say that guy's like, all right, I'm gonna go break into a home tonight. But if I go to a home and it looks like everyone's home and the guy's got a shotgun inside,
Yeah, probably.
like me viewing it from the outside, all the lights are on, there's tons of cars in the drive.
Well, casings became a thing.
I see a freaking army vet on the freaking bumper sticker.
Yeah.
Then I ain't gonna go. They ain't gonna go. They're weak.
Yeah, right.
So it still has to do with the environment.
On the weaker of themselves.
I mean, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
But it just a lot of has to do with the environment. It's still gonna be the right environment still. For them to feel that they can, whatever, go do their thing.
Yeah. You see all the crime going on in New York right now?
No, I have not.
Dude. So basically, what they are called is asylum seekers. But basically, it's people that come from other parts of the world, and they bring their everyday crime that they would be now desensitized to, of course, and bring that form of crime here that we haven't seen before, so we're not desensitized to it, so it's something crazy that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And that's basically what's going on in New York right now. All kinds of it.
Okay, really?
Yep.
Has it been on the news? I haven't heard nothing.
No, not on the news, dude. Are you crazy?
Okay.
The news is scared to tell you stuff like that.
I thought the news, they only talk about nasty stuff on there, I thought.
Yeah, but not true stuff. Or
Yeah.
not stuff that's impacting our citizens here. They talk about wars and stuff like that happen over the ocean. They talk about all kinds of other stuff, inflation and fear of that and what that might lead to and all kinds of other stuff. But the news doesn't talk about real things that are happening in your backyard.
Okay.
They're not talking about the cat that got stuck in the tree.
Yeah.
They're talking about world stage stuff less than our backyard stage type stuff.
Why is that?
I believe it's because of fear mongering.
Well, I probably agree, but don't you think if you want to get people to feel fearful. They probably feel more fear with things, the nasty things that are happening in their backyard than what's happening halfway across the world, you would think.
Yeah, but I think that has to do more with the more of the gravity of what's happening across the globe in comparison to the gravity of what's happening here, because we don't have missiles coming at us the same way that some of these other countries do right now.
Yeah, but the point I was trying to make was, like, yeah, if I want to scare someone, couldn't I scare them a lot more with showing them what's scary going on, 10 miles down the road than what's going on 10,000 miles down the road?
Sure, I mean, I may agree with you, but I don't think a lot of people really relate with that. And
to the 10 mile down the road one?
Yeah, because
what?
And it's also the idea of how are these people going to react to finding out that this is only so close. That's not.
You can only react in fear.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
something's 10 miles down the road.
Not unless if you react with your own idea of justice, and then we can have just a whole bunch of, basically a civil war, really.
Well, you actually brought me to a new random thing that we can close this out on.
Sure.
And we might have brought this up before, but do you feel like a hero is birthed or born out of revenge? Think about it.
Yeah, Batman.
Yeah, you say? Just straight up, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Of course, yeah?
I said, of course, yes.
Interesting.
Because...
for some context, I brought this up to one person, and they said no.
Of course, buddy, you're not going to be the underdog forever. What are you going to do? It's going to push you to do something.
Interesting.
Something. How many humans can sit back and do absolutely nothing forever?
So I think the reason why that person may have said no is just because of how it sounded. So I'm going to say it a little slower, and then you hear how it sounds and still think you've got the same answer.
Yeah, I'm still going to have the same answer.
I'm glad that you do.
And I'll give you even a personal thing after you reword it. Go for it.
I'm glad that you do. And again, I feel like this person just heard how the word sounded, so just automatically wanted them to say no.
Reword it. If you guys have any opinions, drop a comment below. We want to know.
Is a hero only born out of revenge?
Not only. I would have said the word only.
Yes! We got him.
Well, I would have said only.
Then, all right. Well, first make that case why you say no, and then go to the next thing.
All right, sure.
Why not?
I say...
When aren't they, or why aren't they? Well, then why not, or when?
Because nothing is only, ever.
Interesting.
Only.
I'm already disagreeing, but I want to hear some...
I say
some sustenance here.
No, because there are a lot of people that will take matters into their own hands, which could be a very negative outcome. Of course, they don't battle what they're battling. They end up battling themselves, because then they get to the idea of, well, this person feels I'm never going to amount to anything, so maybe I won't, and then they go out and then they unalive themselves. So that's the only...
Isn't that revenge right there?
No way, dude. Where is the positive out of that story? With revenge, something has to be... I was listening to Sherlock Holmes just earlier today, and in the book it was this guy's fiance. He had recently proposed, and then his fiance got scooped up by these two men and basically trafficked. To sum the story up really quickly. So he plotted for 2 years on how to get his revenge on these guys. So basically, he got these he had 2 pills here, right? So red pill, blue pill, whatever you want to say, but one was actually a deadly substance, and the other one was nothing. It was absolutely nothing, a sugar pill. So he said, you take one and I'll take the other one, and one of us will die. It's basically Russian roulette. And he ends up killing both these guys by that way. And so, no, I don't think that him dying would have really gotten much justice. I mean, maybe.
So,
still maybe.
Maybe
but I don't think so. I think that, me personally, when I was bullied and picked on in school, I eventually grew into a grown man that now fears a lot less, and I would eventually get my revenge, and then I would be successful.
I don't know. It's like, I don't get if you're making the point for that a hero isn't only born out of revenge, or a hero is. Before we get a little bit deeper into this,
I don't know. I guess my answer is still yes, but I don't know. I don't think if somebody unalives themselves in that situation, that anything positive ever came out of that situation.
Oh, so you're saying the point is that person wouldn't be a hero?
Yeah, no, really. Right. You got to be a hero to get revenge, in my opinion.
So let's talk about that. But first, I'm taking the stance that a hero is only born out of revenge, and
No, I know. I still do agree with just that point sentence there. I just have a hard time with the word only because it funnels everything into one thing only.
well, I think I just did say only though.
Yeah, I know. That's the only word out of that whole sentence that I have a problem with.
Well,
Is a hero made out of revenge? Yes. Is a hero only made out of revenge?
and here's why.
Okay.
And then we could describe what hero means, and then we can relate it to what Tyler said. But they only are because it depends on the level of analysis of how you are describing revenge. What I mean by that is
Okay.
what you're relating it to.
Okay, sure.
So it could be revenge against a person, it could be revenge against an act, it could be revenge against a thought, a feeling, a blade of grass. Somewhere in the story you could find revenge against something in a very abstract way,
Sure.
with some thought and some words.
This grass
You could find it.
overtaking my property.
You could yes.
Cutting it
And I'm the hero of this. I'm the hero of this lawn.
with this property.
Yes, you can find it with words and abstract thought. You could find where revenge was taking place.
Yes.
Trust me. And
Yes.
then for the hero part, we'll define it in a sec. But let's bring it back to your thing. Well, actually, fine. We'll just define it first, and then we'll bring it to your thing.
Well, it doesn't really matter. You can do it either order.
Well, because what you brought up, what'd you say? Someone sees. What'd you call it? Like the very political, diplomatic way of taking your own life. What'd you call it?
Oh yeah,
What'd you call it?
unaliving
Though?
yourself.
Unaliving yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say what a hero was first before I try relating into that.
Sure.
A hero, right? Is just anytime you go into something that's unknown, or you in the unknown, going into the unknown
Being
willingly.
courageous.
Yeah, going into the unknown unwillingly. Anytime you walk out of your door, you're a hero.
Yep.
Just any act of doing the unknown.
I agree.
And then-
the mail, then your mom doesn't have to.
Yeah, they go bam.
See what I'm saying? So you do it.
Exactly.
On a very small scale, but sure.
So, with what you brought up, we won't talk about it too much, but technically speaking, they've taken revenge and they are willingly going into the unknown.
Yeah, because I mean, whenever he came to the proposition of you take one pill and I'll take the other pill, he knows I'm setting one of us up for failure right now.
Okay.
But it's for justice for his fiancée that was taken. I don't know if she was murdered or not, but I know that he definitely did kill both the guys, and his plan did work. He took the sugar pill twice, so I mean that's pretty interesting.
Sounds like a hero in my book.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And he sat on the court stand and he told everybody the whole story and everything. And he says, "Look, I have a failing heart, and you guys can lock me up and throw away the key." And the next day, they found him dead in a cell
Dang.
because his heart failed.
Dang.
But he died with a smile on his face because he knew that he got revenge for his fiancée being put in that situation that those two men put her in.
Sounds like a good book.
Yeah, dude. Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
Awesome book. Well, this has been Skoom Speech.
You guys have a good one.
Peace.